Hello everyone, welcome to the channel and I hope everyone is doing good. So in this video, we're going to discuss about the Agentic AI, why Agentic AI is so demanding and popular in 2026, what happens behind the scene in the Agentic AI. So anyone who is in the mid-level of data engineering field and want to move into the GenAI should know the Agentic AI from the basics, start making their fundamentals in the Agentic AI strong, and then move into some of the practical aspects of Agentic AI, like building Agentic AI pipeline with the help of langgraph or any of the tools. So there is nothing fancy is going to happen in this video. We are going to stick to the basics because basic is what which will build your fundamentals. And once your fundamental of Gen AI or the agentic AI is strong, then this will help you or this will guide you to build an application. This will guide you to build a very good RAG system or multi-agent calling system. So before starting the video, do subscribe to the channel and please spread this video and this channel to your friends, your colleague who want to build their career around data engineering field or want to transition into data engineering higher topic or to the Gen AI topics. So we'll start the video now. So we'll start with a simple question. You have to plan a vacation, the flight tickets, the reservation of the hotels, the other stuff regarding the vacation. So if you ask this question to a traditional AI, so you will or a normal chatbot, you will get a simple direct one-to-one answer for this. Like these are the location, these are the flights. But if this question is asked to Agentic AI, then Agentic AI will create a plan, create a goal, and full workflow will be created, which will give you multiple options to choose which kind of where you want to have the vacation, which kind of flight. It will compare the flight prices, its review. It will ask you multiple questions. It can perform some actions, like it can directly go to the flight company URL and try to book the ticket. So there will be multiple things which Generative AI will guide you by giving multiple options. So in this video, we will see like what Agentic AI is, why it is different from the generative AI, what is the core building blocks, what are the core building blocks, what is the architecture of this agent, what is multi-agent system, what are the real world use cases. We'll discuss few use cases and what are the challenges and the future trend of Agentic AI. The last few years, we are seeing that multiple things are being added to Agentic AI, and in 2026, Agentic AI, we are seeing that multiple tools and multiple integration is happening. So we'll see like what is the Agentic AI and all the other questions which we'll discuss in this video. So what is Agentic AI? So you will find multiple definition for Agentic AI, but as an overview and for the easy understanding, so Agentic AI is that kind of AI system which understands the goal, means it understands your questions, which creates the plan. Creates the plans means it will create a plan to get into the goal. Like what is the goal? To achieve the goal. It will take action around that plan. It will stick to the plan and accordingly it will take the actions. And that action can be taken with the help of tool, like it can connect to some external API, it can connect to some other tool, for example, calculation tool, calculator tool, or it can also connect to some other tools which are available to the Agentic AI. It will learn from the feedback. Like Agentic AI will give you the out. If you've created a Agentic AI application, then it will just look into the answer and try to compare that answer with the initial question and try to learn from it. If it is doing some mistake in giving the answer, then it will learn at which point the mistake is and try to create that agentic application more reliable and more efficient and more accurate. And it all does by itself. So it works autonomously and without requiring any continuous human instruction. Human in the loop is required whenever you are working in agentic AI application in any of the production system or with any client. Obviously, you will not ask agentic AI, you will not want the agentic AI to do all the things automatically. It has the capability to do that, but you will not allow it to do that. The reason being that it can do mistake. Like say AI system, it all depends on how you have trained and how you is your external data feeding into the system. So obviously it can give the wrong answer. So there will be always a human in the loop. For example, before taking some crucial action, so there will be human interaction. Before choosing multiple options, there will be human interaction in that. So human in the loop will be there in the picture. So agentic AI in a simple, very simple term, it's not just question and answer. It's goal, plan, execute, observe, and improve the system. So this is what is agentic AI. If you put a simple prompt like find the best laptop under $1,000. So the traditional generative AI system will give you the recommendation like these are the laptops. What agentic AI will do? It will search multiple websites regarding this price. It will compare the price of multiple laptops. It will read the reviews. It will create a comparison between different laptops on the basis of price, on the basis of reviews. It will monitor a discount, and also it will study that when that particular discount will come in for that product, and it will try to notify that. So for a simple question, you are getting multiple kind of answers around the same question, and all the answers are very relevant to your goal or to your question. So Agentic AI helps you to give the holistic view around your question, but traditional Gen AI or traditional AI system just give the answer which is related to your question directly, nothing more around that. So why Agentic AI became so popular in 2026? So there are three main reasons for this. The first is better LLM reasoning, tool calling capability, and long-term memory. So better LLM reasoning means whenever like now the LLM which is being built or being trained has a better reasoning capability. It breaks your question into different section. It tries to look into each section independently and tries to bring the context into each of the section. It tries to improve its answer giving capabilities. So this is what the LLM has increased itself or become better day by day. The other thing is tool calling capability. So the Agentic AI application has the tool, like this AI has a tool calling capability, means it can connect to some API, it can connect to external database, it can connect to any CRM, any of the external tool or external application. For example, in your company, you're asking a question regarding the HR, and for getting the HR data, it has to connect to the finance database system. So this Agentic AI has the capability to make the tool calling. It can call the database connectivity tool, which will connect to the different database, get the answer, and then it will again read into the answer, and then again start working on the workflow. The third is long-term memory. So this agentic AI is like in the traditional AI. If you do the chatbot kind of application, it stick to your question. It doesn't remember the full memory, or it doesn't have the historical information for that particular user. But agentic AI has the context window, plus it has the historical information. It joins his historical information as a chain and has the memory, means it remembers like what discussion you had with the agentic AI, which kind of question you have asked to agentic AI, and with that context it will start giving you more answers. So there is a long term memory to the agentic AI. So these are the three very important reasons. There may be multiple reasons for being the agentic AI so popular, but these three are the perfect and the bigger reason. LLM capability has increased, tool calling capability has come up, and the long term memory. Earlier it was a short term memory capability, but now we have the long term memory which can be infused into the agentic AI application. So now we will look into the core component of agentic AI. So there are many components. We'll look into the core component in detail. So the first and the very important component is the brain of the agentic AI, which is the LLM, because LLM does look into the reasoning, planning of this full agentic AI application. So the large language model act as a planner, reasoner, and the final decision maker of your answer. So a few examples are like GPT model, Cloud model, Gemini model, the open source reasoning model also. So LLM capability has increased, that we all know. So this is the brain of the agentic AI. The next is the memory part. So basically there are two kind of memory part into agentic AI. We'll see a short term memory you can use, and there's a long term memory. Obviously long term memory, like both have their own advantage on the application side. We are not going into detail of that which memory route we need to take, but the second important part is memory. We'll see now. So second important component is the memory. So memory can be divided into two kind of memory: a short term memory and the long term memory of the agentic AI application. So the short term memory stores the current conversation. It stores the session context only for that session. For example, user ask about the to create a travel plan for the Japan or any other country. So the agentic AI remembers the itinerary discussion, and what are the preferences for the travel plan. In the long term memory, it stores the historical information or historical interaction. So obviously you have to store the historical interaction somewhere, and then you have to feed that historical information to the agentic AI application. That can be formed in a form of a text file, that can be in the form of any of the database stored information. It remember the past outcome also. What was the answer it has given in the previous interaction. For example, isn't if you ask like user prefer something regarding the food, so agent will remember your preferences, like you are a vegetarian or you prefer non-vegetarian food. So it's a historical interaction you would have done with the agent, and according the basis on that, the agentic AI remembers like which kind of food is your choice, and accordingly it will answer the question. We'll move to the third one. Third one is the planning. Planning is another important component of the agentic AI. So in the planning model is very important component of the agentic AI. So planning model means if you put any prompt to the agentic AI, so before executing the task, it will not go to directly execute the task. The agent will create the plan and it will stick around the plan. If it has to do some action, has to perform some action, then also it will stick to that plan, and according the workflow is created on that plan itself. For example, the question is launch a marketing campaign. Okay, so what will be the plan? So the plan will be multiple things, multiple steps depending on how your genetic AI has been trained. So the first is it will research the competitor. So what are your competitor and what are the content of your competitor? Analyze the keyword, generate the content, schedule the post when it has to be posted. For example, it's a digital marketing campaign. So it has to create the content and schedule the post, track the performance, how the views, how it is attracting the particular kind of group of the people or particular market section. So it will do everything for you. So it will first create the plan. It's not going to execute everything. So it will first create the plan this way, and accordingly it will try to work on this depending on how you have created the workflow on this plan. Now the other important component is the tool layer. Like I mentioned in the starting of the video, like tool calling capability is also the bigger reason that generative AI has become very popular in these days. So we'll look into the tool layer now. One of the biggest advantage of agentic AI is like agentic AI just don't think and give you the answer. It can also act on their preferences, act on their answers. So to act on the answer, the agentic AI needs some tool. For example, agentic AI has to connect to some database to perform some action. Then agentic AI should have that connectivity tool to connect to the database. If agentic AI has to check the calendar to schedule something, then agentic AI should have that calendar API calling capabilities. That tool should be provided to agentic AI. Now all this tool has been combined into a single layer with the help of MCP. We have already discussed the basic of MCP in one of the video. You can go to my channel and you can look into that GenAI playlist. In the future, I'll come with the very detailed video on the MCP, how you can configure the MCP, which will improve the performance of your production GenAI or agentic AI application. But let's stick to this now, as the tool layer capability. So if you don't have the tool, then agent can just think. But if you have the tool, then agent can act. This is the very big differentiating point which has made agentic AI so popular. So if you talk about the tool, the few basic tools are Google search. It can search the some of the output from the Google and just combine with their internal search, and then it can give feed with the help of an element. It can give you the response. It can connect to the databases as one tool, Slack, Jira for getting the ticketing tool information, historical support tickets, Salesforce, email, calendar. So these are few of the tools which are available now to the agentic AI. So agentic AI can directly connect to each tool one to one, or it can connect to few of the combined tools with the help of MCP. So tool layer is very important. Now we'll go to the compute layer as a core component of the. So compute layer means the execution engine. So where the agentic AI workflow will run, like it is responsible for running the actions, monitoring the outcome of the response, retrying the failures. If you have failure in giving the response or the workflow has failed, then retrying it. So starting from where it has failed, it has the retrying capabilities by itself. The logging result, it will log the result one by one. So agentic AI creates the plan. So you have to create a workflow engine. You have to put it in a workflow engine. So each point becomes a separate unit, and there will be a retrying failure capabilities. There will be monitoring capabilities. There will be observability capabilities. There will be logging capabilities, running the action one by one. So the engine execution engine is also a bigger responsibility, a bigger component of the agentic AI. Now we'll look into how it works in the background, how this everything happens when you give the prompt to the agentic AI. We'll look into the agent workflow, how the agent works. So the first step is to goal understanding. The question what you have given to the agentic AI, so it will understand the overall goal. What is the goal to perform this action? The second is the task decomposition. The agent breaks the goal into a small retrieve data, cleaning the data, analyzing the trend, creating the report and the summary. The third step to create the execution strategy, like how you have to execute it. So the step two is more into the planning, and then step three is to create the execution strategy for that task decomposition which has been done into step two. Step 4 is the tool selection. Like it will see that if there is something of a database action being called into the planning phase, then it will go and look into the database tool. If it has like any kind of action which has to be performed and has been identified in the planning stage, then that particular tool selection will be done in step 4. Step 5 is executing each task one by one. So before step 5, everything is a planning and then just assembling into the workflow engine. And if from step 5 the execution takes place. Step 6 is observing the output, which is very important, because by observing the output you can perform the step 7. So step 7 is the self correction. If error occurs, then it will retry it, it will modify the plan. So once it modify the plan, then it has to again go through the step 4 and step 5 phase. Use alternative tool. Maybe one tool has not given you the good answer, that it will go and use the any other alternative tools. And step 8 is the funnel delivery. So you can see that one by one it performs the steps, but there is something like retry mechanism is there. There is something like it can modify the plan, which is in the step 7. So this makes agentic AI a bit different, bit not a very different from the generative AI. So there is another thing, like in agentic AI, you can have a single agent which will do your work. There can be multiple agent, which call it a multiple agent calling system or multiple agent in agentic AI. So in a single agent, user asks the question, agent does the work, it calls the tool and give you the answer. So it will do a specific task one by one. It cannot do multiple tasks parallelly because you have just a single agent. There is a bottleneck, scalability. It cannot be scaled to a bigger system, or you cannot be scaled to multiple applications at a parallel in a same time. So we have a multi-agent architecture in which user asks the question. There is a bigger agent which coordinates all the smaller agents. So smaller agent may be researching as research agent, data agent, coding agent. Like by looking into the data, it will give you the input to the coding agent. Then coding will write the code. There will be another agent which will review the code. So there will be different agent for the different task. Depending on how important or how complex is your prompt or the goal. So multiple things can happen parallelly. Multiple things will happen independently. So your coding agent will wait to get the output from the data agent. So something is waiting to get the answer. But here it happens one by one. It cannot be scaled. So here you can add multiple agents and your system can scale to a bigger agentic AI application. So agentic AI has a multiple capabilities and it can multiple ways it can be implemented. So there are few popular agentic AI pattern. You can just write it as your application is required. So one very important is pattern is react patterns, means think, act, and then react. So in this, like I have already created a video on the react pattern with the help of langgraph. You can look into my previous video in the GenAI playlist. It will first think on that, it will act, observe, and then think again on that. So that's a react pattern. The other is plan and execute. Plan and execute is generally used for some scientific valuation and all mathematical things. It will create a plan, execute it, and then validate the result. The other is reflection pattern used in the coding review side. It will generate, review, and improve itself. For example, you have to create a lineage of the system. So whenever it encounters a new kind of integrated system and tries to create the lineage, it will see, look into the output of its result, and then accordingly it will improve the full lineage agentic AI on the lineage pattern. So that's one of the example. The supervisor pattern is generally a supervisor and there are multiple workers agent. It supervised looks into the working pattern of each of the agent. So React is very popular, and this reflection is getting very popular. I've used into one of the few of the use cases in the reflection pattern. React, you can look into my previous video. Few of the use cases can be or currently agentic AI is used into these are areas a lot more. The customer support agent. One of the support agent I can tell you about there's one AWS services called AWS Connect. So there also agentic AI has been used, like getting the input from the call center, getting the input, and then accordingly, it creates the ticket. It looks into the escalation matrix also if it is required. It looks into the previous output of that question, and then tries to assist the call center guys, call center person to assist the user or the customer. So customer support agentic AI is being used a lot. One I've seen one of the project being worked. I've not directly worked on that project, but I've seen how it behaves. It works. There's a software development agent. Like there are multiple GitHub agents also come into the picture. It will create the pull request. It will create the it will create the story epic. It will break into small topics. It will create a pull request for that particular development. It will review the code, give you the fix of that code. So everything can be done as software development agents. You have the multiple package from the cloud, from the GitHub itself. You have multiple things which can be used as a software development kit as an agent. Finance agent can be there, which in the financial industry, reviewing multiple financial data, comparing it and creating the reports, creating the graphs, creating real-time reports. That is done in the financial agent. There's a healthcare agent. Like in the medical field, the agent can look into the previous report. It can help you to diagnose the particular kind of issues, particular kind of reports. So it does many comparative. It also does some of the um, prediction by looking into some of the existing features. So healthcare agents is also very popular. So like agentic AI is using into multiple things, but these are the one which is where it is getting used a lot, and people are finding it very advantageous by using it into these all ideas. Now look into the popular technology stack for each of the layers in agentic AI. So if you are going to use the orchestration layer, meaning you have to use the orchestration layer in the agentic AI. So popular framework is langgraph, True AI, AutoGen, OpenAI agentic SDK, Llama Index workflow. You can use also Vertex AI of the GCP in the AWS. I think say inside the SageMaker, I think they have come up the orchestration capability. In GCP, Vertex AI has a very good orchestration capability, and it has multiple model. You can use look into multiple model. It has multiple things which can be done automatically. So I have a detailed tutorial on the lang graph. You can look into the GenAI playlist. In the memory layer, you can use vector database, knowledge graph, relational database. Vector database we have discussed multiple times when we had discussed about the RAG system. So Pinecone, ChromaDB, PostgreSQL for the relational database can be used. Model layer means which kind of LLM model you're using, like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or any of the open source models. Tools layers can be API, can be one of the tool, database can be one of the tool, search engine like Google search engine, or business application like connectivity to the SAP business or any of the CRM business unit. Now we'll look into like will in the agentic AI there are multiple disadvantages also. The first is the hallucination is the biggest disadvantage of agentic AI. So what happens, like it will give you the result, incorrect result. Agentic AI will try to look into the result and try to create a better planning for that. But still, hallucination is the biggest problem for agentic AI if you don't maintain it properly and if you have not created it properly. The second is the costing, the pricing, because at agentic AI multiple agents are being involved, and so if you call multiple agents, obviously that that quota and that token size increases, and that will eventually increase the cost. So nowadays the popular topic is getting into the IT field is that uh, the setting up the agentic AI, setting up the AI into any of the automation thing creates the cost or bring the cost a lot, because this calling this LLM model is very costly. And and all the companies cannot create their own LLM model, but for creating the LLM model itself, training it and maintaining it is a different cost. So agentic AI comes with a big cost, not a small cost, but it's a big cost. Security, governance, these are the different other disadvantage, not disadvantage, it's a constraint that can be done but cannot be done in a very simplified way how we do in a different technology or different kind of technology stack. By the end of 2026 we are going to see a different wave of agentic AI. What I feel like, the multi-agent enterprise will increase, where the multiple agents will be required. Personalized AI assistant will be increased. Like when Google has come up with the Google Assistant, at the initial stage was not getting popular, but now almost all the people who are using the Android or the Google services use that Google Assistant for reminding you of the office route, reminding of your particular task and everything. So personalized AI assistant will be getting popular. There are many of same toolkit has come up with the cloud and the other AI system, AI company. The other thing is human plus agent collaboration, because with the agent, human in loop creates a better working of the agent. So, as I think agentic AI is not going to replace the human fully, but it will bring a more collaboration between the agent and human. And when the human in the loop comes in a agentic AI cycle in a proper way, then I think the agentic AI is more beneficial, and we'll be able to cater the security, governance, pricing, and all that constraint around the agentic AI in a proper and a better way. I hope you'll be able to understand what agentic AI is if you're going to start, and where you need to focus it. If you want to know more like which tool and how to use it, you can look into my previous video in GenAI. You will get multiple answers. There are multiple videos around that. And for the MCP, I'll come with the next video. I'm thinking of coming with the MCP in details. If you want me to cover any specific topic, please post your comment. Any of your doubt, post in your comment. You can connect me through LinkedIn. You can get the my LinkedIn ID in my channel description. I'll try to put it in the description of the video also. You can mail me, and any of the doubt regarding Gen AI or the D field, data engineering field, you can post in the comment. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, be happy and happy learning.